All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Denver Broncos. And I just want to say really quickly, it was kind of funny watching the NFL media world, the NFL casual fan world, everybody just overreacting to the Denver Broncos all off season, the first preseason game they played, and just how oblivious everybody outside of Denver Broncos fans and, good NFL fans are of what Denver actually has. As Sean Payton said after this last preseason game where Russell Wilson was supposed to play a good chunk of it, he ended up only playing one possession, he looked sharp. He looked sharp. People act like Russell Wilson magically, after one season, prior to it having one of the more successful quarterback careers in the National Football League in the past many years, people acting like he just magically turned to crap. No. This team was decimated by injuries. They had unfunctionality going on with the coaching staff. They could not control the clock. They were just not cut out for the job, right? But the Broncos still lost 8 games by 1 score. They were still competitive. This Denver Broncos defense is extremely legit. Don't buy into the ranked 14th points per game last season. Don't buy into that. The Denver Broncos have an elite or at least very good defense. It's going to be a top 10 defense this upcoming season. But what people don't seem to understand either with this Denver Broncos team, everyone's expecting this quick fix. The offensive line takes the longest to figure it out, right? It takes a long time. And historically, Sean Payton coached football teams do better in the second half. This man, Sean Payton, in the months of November and December, is an absolute mastermind. All right, so we're going to talk about the Denver Broncos in tonight's video. But before we do, if you guys do enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button. I post daily NFL content. I've only made 3 Broncos videos ever in the last couple of weeks. You guys have blessed every single one of them. I appreciate you guys so much. Can't wait to cover this team in the regular season. If I try and get this video to 500 likes, that would mean the world to me. So another thing not too many people are realizing with this Denver Broncos team is their schedule, in my opinion, is extremely friendly. You started off with 2 just kind of unproven football teams in Las Vegas and Washington. You get Kansas City out of the way in week 6 and in week 8. You finish the season off against Vegas, Los Angeles, New England, Detroit, Los Angeles, Houston. It's a very winnable second half. And it's not like this crazy, extremely difficult schedule in general to begin with. So my point is the Denver Broncos, by their week bye of 9, that was a weird way to phrase that, don't overreact. Don't overreact. Anything around 500, if the Denver Broncos after their first 8 games are 4-4, I'd actually be very happy with it, because Russell Wilson is still Russell Wilson. And the thing people don't understand as well with this Denver Broncos team is Russell Wilson doesn't need to be this crazy Patrick Mahomes, 50 touchdown guy. You just need Russell Wilson to be Russell Wilson. You don't need him to be anything he isn't. He looks good, man. He lost, like 15 pounds? He looks really sharp, as Sean Payton said. And as we mentioned early on in the video, he was supposed to play a good chunk of the game in their last game against San Francisco in the second preseason week. And he played 1 possession. They also got their left tackle back. So we put it all together. I like what Denver's cooking offensively as far as their targets go. You've got a loaded running back room. Javonte Williams, who pretty much lost all of his hype outside the Denver Broncos fans just because he was injured last season. He's one of the many Denver Broncos players that was injured for over a majority of the season. But they also picked up Samaje Perine, who, when Joe Mixon was out with a concussion and just last season in general, Samaje Perine was a great backup running back. And when he needed to come in as a spot starter, he did more than enough. The dude looked like a starting running back when Joe Mixon was out. But he can block, he can catch, he can do a lot of things, but he is extremely reliable. And one thing that should be noted is in the AFC Championship game between Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine, it wasn't even close. Samaje Perine was the dude. He was the main running back in the AFC Championship game. That proves how much trust Cincinnati Bengals had in him. And I'll tell you, because I've covered the Bengals for about a year now. When they lost Samaje Perine until that draft happened, it was a brutal loss. Brutal loss. Another misconception I keep seeing with Denver is the loss of Tim Patrick is, devastating. And while I will say it's extremely unideal, especially because we all know I saw Tim Patrick get compared to like Jamal Murray in the comments section of my last Broncos video, which I thought was funny. I wouldn't go as far to say as that, but to me, the Marvin Mims Jr. draft pick in the second round just kind of shows me how they're feeling about that health. I don't feel great with relying on a healthy Tim Patrick for the entire season. Obviously, extremely unfortunate given that he got injured, but still, nonetheless, the addition of Marvin Mims Jr., who balled his ass off at Oklahoma in its final season, he joins Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton, one of the more underrated 1-2 duos in the National Football League. You also have Greg Dulcich at the tight end position, who, like a lot of these Broncos players, pretty much played half the season. He technically played 10 games. He had 33 catches for 411 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's a rookie. Third-round draft pick out of UCLA. Watch out for him as a big favorite for Russell Wilson entering his sophomore campaign. So I'm not worried about the offense. Getting the left tackle back is huge, but as we mentioned, the offensive line takes a long time to figure things out. And if the big question mark for Denver heading into this season was, is Russell Wilson actually washed? Well, we've gotten our answer. We've gotten our answer immediately in the first 2 preseason games. I know their first preseason game was not beautiful because it technically took the offense a while to put up a touchdown, the first stringers to put up a touchdown. But Russell Wilson, when he was not running for his life, when he was not getting hit down, he looked good. So the eye test proves it. Russell Wilson will be perfectly fine. And as we all know, Sean Payton, second half, they do well. So altogether, the Denver Broncos, I don't know how many wins they're going to get. I really don't. But when we take a look at their schedule, I really don't mind it. Buffalo, Minnesota, Cleveland, Houston, LA twice, Detroit, New England, and then Vegas to finish off the season. They could start 4-4 and then finish off at the final 9 games 6-3. That's a 10-win season right there. That's 10-7, and you're in the playoffs. When we take a look at the AFC West in general, there's a lot of question marks. There's question marks with Denver. There's not really many question marks with Kansas City. There's a bunch of question marks with Los Angeles. There's a bunch of question marks with Las Vegas. Not too many people are even thinking Vegas is going to be a problem. I would beg to differ. Not thinking they're going to win 10-plus games, but I don't think it's going to be an easy victory playing them. However, by the end of the season, that game could be to get into the playoffs. And even though it's in Vegas, I'm going to go with Denver. I'm going to go with Sean Payton and Russell Wilson because they have proven track records that a lot of people seem to forget. That's it for tonight, man. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. I'm pumping out about 1 Broncos video every single week. Broncos fans, seriously, like my first ever Broncos video, it has like 50,000 views. I mean, I just seriously cannot believe it. So I appreciate your guys' support a lot. Like I said, can't wait to cover this team in the regular season. But that's it for tonight. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. But guys, most importantly, what are your thoughts right now on Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, and this Denver Broncos offense?